There are two distinct types of production systems that are used: push production systems and pull production systems.
Whereas the pull system takes instructions to manufacture from receiving orders from customers, the push system relies on forecasts. The push system is the traditional approach to scheduling production, where the sales forecast is used to determine what goods should be produced in the factory.
This is where the term push comes from. The goods manufactured by the production facility are pushed into the warehouse regardless of whether there are customer orders for them or not. This means that forecasts need to be really accurate, but sadly, this is very seldom the case.
Although much effort is placed on fine-tuning the forecast, it is really just the best guess from the demand planners, making it subject to error.
However, in some environments where fast-moving consumer goods, FMCG, are manufactured, manufacturing according to a steady forecast can have benefits. It is much easier to plan production if similar quantities are produced every month, and it is much easier to control the purchase of raw materials in a push environment.
Raw materials, which are purchased to meet the production requirements, are based on a calculation called MRP, or Materials Requirement Planning. MRP relies on an accurate bill of material to calculate how much of each raw material is needed to manufacture the finished products.
The bill of material has a list of all raw materials, the quantities required to produce a single item or batch of the finished product, and how long it takes to both manufacture the product and also to receive all the raw materials.
Lead time, which is the how long it takes to manufacture the product and to receive all raw materials, is a critical piece of information for the manufacturing process.
If the material is late from the supplier, production is delayed and pushed out the entire production schedule.
Another factor to consider in the push production environment is that sometimes finished goods are manufactured according to capacity in the production facility rather than due to the demand. In other words, making full use of the production facility by producing goods even if they are not needed.
This approach can result in excess amounts of inventory which carries certain dangers, such as the warehouse is loaded with inventory which does not get sold. Too much inventory can result in obsolescence, theft, and/or damage. Too much inventory uses up money which can be used more productively.
When jobs are scheduled for production, this is known as dispatching. The role of dispatching is to select and sequence available jobs to be run at each individual work center and to assign jobs to team members.
Remember that the sequence of work in the factory can change at any time because of a number of reasons, including a rush job is introduced to the factory, a machine or tool needs repair, absenteeism.
When finished goods are scheduled, the assumption is often made that the receiving work centers in the factory will be ready for the materials when they arrive.
This may not be the case, as there may be delays or stoppages for any number of reasons, but the push system issues the instruction to deliver materials to the work center whether it is needed or not.
For the production facility to operate effectively, the right resources and capacity are necessary.
Capacity in a production environment takes into account the hours available within a shift, the number of people, the number of machines and tooling which is available. Essentially, without any of these resources, the factory would not be able to function.
Before releasing any work to the factory or shop floor, a check must be made of what resources are required. This information is kept on a bill of resources. Sometimes production starts and resources are not available, which creates havoc on the factory floor.
One of the side effects of this is aggravating bottleneck operations, which increases the length of queues and extends lead times to unacceptable limits.
A bottleneck can be a work center, a machine, or a tool, where the speed of the entire job is determined by the rate at which the job can move through the bottleneck operation. For example, painting is often a bottleneck operation because it takes longer to prep, paint, and dry the product than it does to make any other part of the product.
As a job moves through the production facility, there are time factors that need to be planned and managed. These are queue time, setup time, run time, wait time, and move time. These will vary from job to job, and for some finished goods, the move through the production environment will be quicker than others.
Expediting is a term used for hurrying something along. The term is used both in production and in purchasing. If a job or a purchase order is late, someone will be assigned to expedite the order.
De-expediting works the other way and is a term used for slowing down an order. This can be necessary when the sequence of operations changes within the factory.
The production scheduler has the last word on how the jobs are processed in the production facility, and responsibility for all activities ultimately rests on his or her shoulders.